This week on The Modified World, we're busting piercing myths, so stick around. Alright, welcome to The Modified World, weekly web show about body modification. People do it, people get it, why it matters. Most importantly, your only source on YouTube for legitimate professional information from somebody who actually has a leg to stand on in this industry. I'm JC Potts. I'm the senior piercer at the world-renowned Pangea Piercing. This thing's sitting right behind me over here in beautiful sunny downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan. I purvey internet wackiness. And another thing I do is I have a real problem with non-factual information about body piercing out there in the world. It makes my job harder, makes other people hate body modification because they have a negative impression of it and stuff, thinking that it could be bad in some way, shape, or form, and I'm here to try to help squash a lot of that stuff. This week, I'm going to be discussing, recently, there's been a lot of stories floating around on various social media networks and other kind of poorly vetted outlets of media information, claiming that the Daith piercing, this happy guy right here, somehow can cure migraines in the way that like acupuncture does. And people have been asking me left and right, is this a fact? And on this, well, I have to say, let me preface it by saying when it comes to so-called pseudosciences like chi or these other things, if it can't be measured or quantified or something like that, then generally I'm not going to believe in it, all right? So, with all that said, I understand that, there's a lot of people who do believe that the chi and acupuncture and all that stuff is real. They say, oh, but what about Chinese medicine, JC? There's a billion people that believe in this, and it has thousands of years of history. And I say, yeah, too, Chinese medicine also, or the traditional Chinese medicine also say that powdered rhino horns somehow make your wiener stiffer, and that ain't real neither. So once again, JC loves to deal with reals over feels, and the bottom line with all this stuff is, man, even for the folks who actually have faith and belief in acupuncture as a treatment, I have asked these people about it back in the 90s when I was considering, hey, maybe I can do some piercings on some folks' ears and maybe help them lose weight. They were saying, hey, look, if you do a piercing, it's kind of like throwing a rock into the stream. The stream goes around it, It's not like doing an acupuncture thing where it's a temporary deal in and out. They say the acupuncture point moves. Of course, then I ask them, well, does it move left, right, up, or down? And of course, they can't answer me, once again leading back into my belief that it's all just pseudoscience anyway. But that said, though, man, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I have been doing the inner ear cartilage piercings for about 19 of those years. I've done thousands of Daith piercings, and not once have I ever had somebody have one thing to say one way or the other about what it did for either giving them headaches or getting rid of headaches. So take it for what it's worth. So in my opinion, Daith piercings curing migraine, myth busted. That's a no sir, no ma'am, sorry. All that said, if you feel like a sugar pill helps your arthritis, then there's no harm in doing it, and there's no harm in getting a Daith piercing, and if it helps your migraines, then great. I'm cool with that. I'm going to be delving into other piercing myths and misconceptions, things even about other forms of body modification. So, of course, if you want to be able to get the real deal from somebody who doesn't have an axe to grind other than just, I want you all to have proper information, then hey, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because I love giving people proper information. You wouldn't want to miss it when it happens. Of course, if you found this helpful, go ahead, throw me a like, something like that. And if you think other people could benefit from it, then f***ing share it. It's about time that somebody step up and say something about it. So, in the comment section down below, leave me your questions about piercing myths that maybe you want myth busted. Or let me also know about your experience with your Daith piercing and what did it do for any headaches that you have. I'd love to hear from my followers. So go ahead and leave me that in that section down below. And be sure to stop back by next week for another episode of The Modified World.